Hello again. Just before we start, and this is off topic, but it's something very close to both our hearts because we've been touched by this, losing a good friend. But a bit of sad news regarding a former rugby league player, because I'm a great fan of rugby league, Rob Burrow, 41 years old, succumbed to motor neuron disease. It's hard to believe that just 7 years ago he was playing in a grand final for his club Leeds. So we do our little bit now and then for motor neuron disease. A terrible, terrible disease. And I must be honest, I shed a tear when I heard the news. He was a fighter, 5'5" in rugby league throughout his career, and he certainly was a fighter when he got motor neuron disease. But him and his close pal Kevin Sinfield and all his teammates and his family raised millions and millions of pounds, towards finding a cure for this horrible disease. So I thought I'd just mention that because it has touched us, that. And anyway, I'll get away from that sadness now and we'll move on to our video. Here we go. Well, like I was saying previously, it's been quite a while since we've been out boating because of circumstances which I don't need to go into. And but we definitely are going to be out and about soon. But we've got our maintenance tasks, and I talked about our fenders, and we'll go into that again shortly. But first of all, when we arrived back at the boat, it's just the way we are. It was covered in the winter grime from people's chimneys and all that. And there was also, it just gets covered in cobwebs and that. So we give it a clean and got it looking something like. We didn't wax it because we knew we'd be coming back. So we got all that done, cleaned up a little bit, and then the time come to do some work on both the bow and stern fenders. It's a subject what's not people might not find interesting, but I'm trying to. There's quite a few things I just want to talk about. Now, our bow fender, every fender what goes on a boat, I'll go into the actual fixing of it and the responsibility of actual boat builders as well to get things right at the end of the video. But on the bow fender, people have all sorts of fenders, but we do it the traditional way. We have a fender what's on with the rubber cover on so it doesn't deteriorate too much, but you need your trusty hammer, because instead of it just floating on what they call the stem post, that's at the on the bow of the boat at the front, you actually hit it to shape it to go onto that stem post. That's how you do it properly, and you can see the shape in the video of what it's like. But the other thing is, I might be a fussy bugger, mightn't I? But I don't like rusty chains. I know it doesn't do any harm, but I like them looking gleaming. So I replaced the chains on the fender at the front, which because they were going rusty, and I replaced them and refitted the fender. and it looks great. And then we went on to the back of the boat, the actual stern, and our new fenders, which we showed you, I was fitting them at the back, take the old ones off, which are well and truly rotted, but these were going on. And what I do, I what you call fit them, but they settle a bit at first, and you have to lift them again and do it all, what I call finalise it. But at the moment, I've just, as you'll see in the video, I've put them on now, and I know that they'll just start to go down a bit, and then I'll move the chains up a bit, and they'll be pulled a little bit higher. But when we fitted them, they do look good. They do look good, and that will keep the stern of the boat very safe. And again, we'll talk now about why, should we say, builders and people themselves don't do the right thing with bow and stern fenders. And I think after having a look at that, the lovely finish, even if I say so myself, I'll just talk to you about a couple of things regarding safety and a good tip for people who have fenders. It's a safety tip because boats do get caught up on locks and that, and some have sank. You know, thankfully not loads, but it does happen. And I want to just show you a good thing, which I'll stop that happening or cut the chances down considerably. So we'll move on to that next. Simple thing first. Less chains, the better. Some have 2 chains at the top and 2 chains at the bottom. That is not good, because if it gets hooked on anywhere, it stays where it is, the fender, where we've got only one hook point on the bow and a couple at the back, and it raises up. So if it catches when it's going down on either the sill at the back or anywhere on the lock gate at the front, it moves. If you've got 4 chains, and builders put them on like that, I don't know why, they can hook on and there's no movement. And I'll never understand that, why they do that. You need the minimum amount of chains. You don't want 4 chains, even 3 chains with one at the bottom. You only need, if it's designed properly, a shell, you only need the minimum. Like I say, we've got 1 hook point on at the bow, and then we just have the 2 at the back, and we just fit it accordingly, and it works very well. Now, that being said, this is a tip for everybody. People talk about safety with fenders, and what some people do, they take part of the fender where the chains are, and they'll, instead of having in the links, they'll put a cable tie instead of a piece of instead of a chain link in the well, what happens is, if it catches or anything, that'll break, so it gives. The trouble is, they do deteriorate over time with UV. And other people use little bits of rope and that to do it. And a few take the time to put a little saw cut in one of the links. And that makes that the weakest link. Simple as that. Well, that's what we do with all ours, but we'll always have our mallets for shaping, and we've got some bolt cutters, not giant ones because you don't need them for the fenders, but we've got some. And what we do on the chains, so we've already got the lifting up and the lift out the way, which is good, but if they got caught under anything and it went that way, obviously they wouldn't lift. So this idea what we have means that the chain itself will give. And what we do, we use bolt cutters and cut, well, it's over halfway through the actual chain link. And that means that that itself is the weakest link. And that will give if something gets stuck, and it'll just break off and won't hook the boat up on anything and cause any risk of sinking. Well, I thought that was a good tip for anybody, and like I said, I've showed you the simpleness of it in the video. Right, that's this video complete. I know it's not been a long one, but no, it's give you some important information, I think, for tips for when you know, when you're thinking about fitting fenders and making certain they're safe. And if you're having a boat built, just ask the boat builder, why is he hooking 4 on? You know, it's not needed. So remember, if you've got 4, make certain you make the links weak so that they do give. But best of all, have the anchor points around your boat at a minimum. That's the best way I can say it. Definitely it now. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Now, believe it or not, I know we've not been on the boat, but we will be going on our trips, no doubt whatsoever. But I have got a couple of other maintenance jobs. Like I say, I don't like the boat deteriorating, and I replace things or maintain things as and when. And I've got a few more things to do, including what some would think is a big job. But because I'm handy, it's not too bad at all. But that'll come in a future video. But that's definitely it for now. I hope you found it interesting again. And we'll see you in a video in the future, whenever that may be. So, see you all. Keep safe and well. And that's all I can say. So, as usual, coffee time. I think that's, yeah, coffee time and perhaps a little snack. Oh, and finally, because a few mentioned me about being 21 again. I always do this. I did pick something for doing my videos. I was, for a fleeting moment, I was going to look at a drone, but I'm not fussy on drones. So it's no good me getting that. I love my cameras, so I'm not replacing them. But there's a brand new microphone system just come out in the last month or so. And I think, because I love making certain that the sound is right on the videos. I know not everybody's bothered about that, but if I'm making a video, I enjoy making them more than anything. And I love getting the sound right. And I decided to treat myself to another type of sound system. Not tried it yet, but I think it'll be all right. That's to come in the future. That's definitely it now. I'm going to go before I talk anymore, and we'll see you all soon. Ta-ra!